And welcome to another episode of Use Your Words Podcast. I'm Paul. Thank you for joining us this week. So this week, we really start off talking about patience. That's what I really want to talk about at first. But as you know, conversations in real life, sometimes they drift topics, and that's exactly what happened here. We talked about the fact that we have a sand shortage. How do we even have a sand shortage? We have a big old deserts all over the globe. We always talk about deserts growing and expanding even more every year. But so how are we having a sand shortage? Well, we're going to talk about that. And then we go from there. And as we continue talking about the various shortages going on in the economy around the world, we eventually get to talking about Venezuela and how inflation and shortages there have caused rapid inflation of the cost of goods and foods on the normal market, especially those that are not subsidized by the government, and how ridiculous it's gone. And ultimately, me and Aaron are reminded about how good we have in America, even though we like to complain sometimes here in America as Americans about how we have to wait or how bad we have it because costs of goods have increased. And then you realize that the cost of good for like a loaf of bread down in Venezuela, which in American dollars is maybe like 45 cents, if they were to buy it on the straight market without going through a government-backed store, would be almost an entire year's worth of their currency. Yikes. So listen to the conversation, what that sounds like, and to hear some of those stats and some of those numbers. And again, thank you.
Paul's gonna kill us. So darkness, huh? That's the topic.
It's rising in me right now. Okay, Gannon. So
welcome to another episode of Use Your Words Podcast. Welcome back, Mr. Johnson. Glad you got your drinks and joined me once again. This is another Aaron Johnson topic. This month is full of Aaron Johnson specials. Unfortunately, fortunately. Whichever you choose. So, Mr. Johnson, this is a Aaron Johnson special, as most of these topics this month. So what was going through your mind when you sent the word topic idea? Patience.
Well, this whole pandemic thing has caused a lot of issues.
It's caused a lot of Karens.
Yes.
Which is just adding a K in front of Aaron and you got Karen.
But
okay,
what is the male version of a Karen?
Doesn't matter right now.
Okay. It's not me. Anywho, and with this whole pandemic-y stuff, there has been a lot of shortages.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think of, what the heck made me even think of patience in the first place? And I totally forgot. But then I realized it was with this whole shortage thing, and I mean, no thanks to Amazon being awesome with delivery stuff. But now that there's shortages, people actually have to wait for stuff now. Some things, not everything, but a lot of things.
Yeah, so such as
just goods, materials, for me, some music equipment. It's all bought up, and it's hard for some people to get some stuff in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with everyone being locked into their houses this past 18 months to 15 days to slow the spread. I have a feeling we're going to come out of this pandemic and start seeing a lot of new bands everywhere.
A lot of new bands everywhere?
Yep, with first-year musicians.
So not good.
Depends.
It does depend. Yeah, you're right. But maybe that'll give some of those bands that have been musicians for more than a year a better chance to work themselves up?
Maybe.
Probably not. Who knows?
If
I don't care.
If they took this time in this time when they didn't have to do anything and spent the time practicing.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me. Dang it. Well, I had to work anyways.
Yeah, I know. You were essential. But yeah, so music equipment, anything else that was on kind of your list?
I mean, a lot of this comes from work, because at work, we're running pretty short on stuff. And like even like to get the bags that we package stuff in we normally have like, what is it, 4 different sizes of bags.
Okay.
We're on our last size of like the standard, like it's where it comes on a roll. We're on our last size of the bag, which is the biggest. So that's just great.
Right.
But I mean, we'll only have that for so long. And supposedly, we're not supposed to get another shipment of bags in until January.
Oh, wow.
That's a long time. Yeah, because apparently there's a shortage on petroleum products. So, I mean, thankfully we do have other bags, but it's like things are, I mean, yeah, how we bag stuff might be changing a little bit, or we'll have a lot of waste of bags because we had to put small stuff in big bags. We'll find out.
Yeah.
In our pursuit to find another company to help us out with that thing. So with that, I mean, just even getting material, I know, because I have been looking at getting a CDL, and you told me, like, you know, there's like shortage in truckers and stuff like that, and so it's like, you know, we look at getting material in, but there's a delay on us getting our material in, maybe because of delivery like issues and stuff like that. I don't know all those details, but it's just there's a lot of stuff holding things back, but the orders and what people want obviously doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know, it's one of those things where I guess for me, I don't care. Like, if I order something, I'm okay with waiting on it. Like, I ordered some drums, but it's going to take 6 to 9 months until I get them.
Okay.
Because they got to put it all together. But it's just like seeing some people, like, just, I guess, like, hearing about, like, customers getting super pissed off because of orders are taking too long. They're getting delayed and stuff like that. It's just like, man. It's like, what do you expect when there's a shortage of things happening in the world? And I was just, with that, and then Amazon having their whole, what's it called? Their 2-day, or even in some cases, same-day deliveries.
Yep.
And stuff. And I guess that's as far as receiving goods. But like, and then obviously with just technology, the phones and just instant, just everything.
Yeah.
Seems like we have lost the idea of being patient a little bit.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that the past few years, like you're saying, Amazon just same day delivery type thing, and they were even investigating doing delivery same day via drones for even faster stuff.
That's
So
crazy. It's cool.
So
but once that becomes a norm, it's like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't even know that there was a plastic bag shortage until you just brought that up, because that hasn't been anything that I've had to deal with really.
Right.
You know, and looking at it, McDonald's is having trouble getting straws as well, plastic straws.
What?
Due to the plastic shortage. They're also having trouble getting plastic bags. The BBC has a story out, COVID vaccines, why a giant plastic bag shortage is slowing the rollout. They need plastic bags as part of the vaccine production.
Oh. So what is causing the plastic bag shortage, though? Is it the production of them?
It's a shortage of materials and components to create the bags.
Because of no one's producing it, or is it
Shortage of materials and components. So, so at this point, it's like the vaccine manufacturer saying they may be waiting for some bags up to 12 months, 12-month delay
for the vaccine?
for the bags. to grow
yeah.
to grow the vaccines in.
That is an interesting predicament.
On the side step of that, over in BBC area, Great Britain,
Yeah.
they are out of body bags.
Ooh.
Or just about to run out of body bags.
Oh.
And they said a lot of it is due to other countries stockpiling a bunch of body bags because of the coronavirus. And now there's a shortage on bags. So guess what they can't make?
Bags.
Yep. And they can't produce any from, like, they're trying to get some from overseas, but they haven't been successful yet.
Man, that's the thing. I feel like that's one thing that sucks about, I guess, one, stockpiling on stuff. Especially when you get way too much of it, expecting to have to use it, but then not.
Yep.
Then you have all this extra baggage.
Yeah. So you guys having to wait till January for a bag is not as bad as vaccine development having to wait almost a year for some of the bags.
Yeah, you did say 12 months. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm trying to think of when we ordered these bags, though. It's been a minute. Because, yeah, originally I thought it was supposed to be October or November, and then I was like, oh, no, now January. It's like, oh.
Yep.
But. So, it, gosh.
So,
ooh, crisis.
So yeah, that can happen real quickly. Now the thing is, that's just whatever materials are to make a bag, right?
Yeah.
In the past, you've read about other material shortages that are kind of looming on the just on the edge here that we're just about to hit into. Like water, we understand that that's a shortage in some areas, and that's probably become more and more of an issue going forward.
Right. Thankfully, we are good.
For now, but
I guess.
If we start pumping our water out to other parts of the U.S., you can start seeing that water level.
Nah, dude, we're keeping it for ourselves.
Oh no, we're making deals to pump it out.
Oh, I'm sure.
What else is something that is in that they sounded the bell in 2019 that they're saying we could soon see a shortage of this material that you would think we would have a ton of. Used for making glass.
Sand?
Yes.
A sand shortage?
In 2019, they said we are on the verge of having a sand shortage.
What? How? What? What?
I love how I bring this up and all of a sudden you're just like, what? It breaks your brain a little bit.
Can't you just make... I mean, sand's just like, what, broken up rock, isn't it? To a point?
It's grains of weathered rock.
Yeah.
It's in deserts and beaches around the world.
Yeah. But what could you not, like, I guess in a sense, make sand from quarries and stuff?
Yeah, but that's also going to be...
It's limited.
So, sand of our natural resources are consumed. So, like water, oil, and all that. Sand, right? What rank is sand?
What rank?
Yep.
As far as what goes?
Like, of natural resources consumed. If you take into account, like, oil, water, gas, sand, all wood.
I would imagine it's pretty high up there.
So, give me a number.
So, it's out of what, though?
Like, just give me a rank. It could be one, let's say 1 through 10.
I guess I would say 5 or 6.
According to this article from the BBC.com,
Yeah.
sand is the world's second most consumed natural resource.
Second. Well, think of how many things have glass on it.
Well, it's not only glass. Concrete.
Yeah.
So all the buildings that we go up, you know that new pool that just went up by your house?
Yeah. Sand.
There was sand in all that concrete and all the glass.
All the new construction.
It's all the asphalt that we used to build roads.
Yep.
Every phone we build.
Has concrete.
I said every phone.
Not concrete. I'm sorry, glass.
Yeah.
From sand.
Well, not only that, processors, right?
Okay.
Sand.
This is what? I didn't know any. Wow.
Every electronic uses sand as well. Not
What?
only for the glass, but for part of the processors and the chips.
What would it look like if we used up all the sand in the desert?
Don't know. Because eventually you're going to hit like ground dirt.
Yeah, this one. Like, I'm just kind of curious. Is what would that section of land look like once you emptied out all of the sand? Like, how deep down does that go?
Yeah, don't know. So, as far as natural resource usage, it's second, right?
Yeah.
Only behind water.
Only behind water.
Yep. People use 50 billion tons of sand every year. That's more than enough to cover the entire United Kingdom
And sand.
in sand.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of sand.
Yep. Now, and here's to answer your question. You know, you're thinking, probably other people's thinking. We have all these big deserts, right? Guess what?
Yeah, what?
They can't use that sand.
Why?
According to
Is
this
it
article,
protected?
no. According to this article, it's the wrong shape.
What? What?
So sand that is eroded by wind has a different shape than that which is eroded by water. And they need sand that is eroded by water to be able to use it to create all the stuff that we create.
No way. No way.
You know what the problem is with that, which is by wind?
Yeah.
It says that they are too smooth and rounded to form stable concrete. So all that desert sand we cannot use for any of these processes.
Not even glass though?
No, we need the angular stuff, sand, found in beds, banks, and floodplains of rivers, as well as in lakes and seashores.
Wow. What? That sucks. We just have to figure it out. We have to make it work somehow. We can use desert sand. We can't discriminate against the desert sand.
There's even a black market now for sand trading,
No
with
way.
criminal organizations moving in and creating their enterprises around trading sand.
Wow. That's incredible. It's awful, but like, I never would have thought sand would be that desirable, or was that desirable.
Well, that's what we use to make all of our wonderfulness with the concrete, and especially because we do a bunch of urban sprawl, right? You know, we're creating all these buildings, all these big cities and everything. So they're predicting, what they're saying is right now, there's about 4.2 billion people living in urban areas.
4.2 billion. Okay.
Okay. The United Nations is predicting that this will move up to add additional 2.5 billion over the next 30 years.
Okay.
That's equivalent of adding 8 cities the size of New York every single year. That's how much concrete you'll
huge.
need.
So, what you're telling me is I need to go to the beach and collect sand. And then sell it, essentially.
You're never going to be able to collect it fast enough. China has used more sand this decade than the United States did in the entire 20th century.
Making what, like
Electronics, concrete, all that stuff, glass.
Wow.
Dubai. You know where Dubai is, right?
Yeah.
You do know where Dubai is. Where are they at?
It's in the Middle Eastern, or kind of by.
Okay, and what do they buy? A desert.
Yeah.
They have a lot of sand, right?
But you can't use desert sand.
Right. They import their sand from Australia for their buildings. So there are people in Australia exporting sand to the Arabs.
So they can make theirs.
When I say Arabs, I mean the United Arab Emirates and all that.
Yeah. I guess, Australia is literally like just a massive island.
Yeah, it's a former penal colony.
Yeah. So, they've got sand technically all around it.
Yep.
So, but, okay. But we can create sand to a point, right?
To a point, but can we make it as fast as we use it? That's the question.
Probably not. So we're gonna have to learn to be really patient.
Yeah, exactly.
God, we have to become, we'll have to use our resources wisely. Gosh, I feel like America's gonna have the hardest issue with this.
Because we're not patient at all.
No.
Let's be honest.
We just waste.
Yes. Yes, we do. Unfortunately.
Oh my gosh. See, patience is a bigger thing than I thought it would be.
Yeah. So, in this article from BBC, they go over some things, right? And like they're talking about in Vietnam, Vietnam's Mekong Delta. Is it Mekong? Mekong? Is it Mekong or Mekong? I'm not sure how it's pronounced. But anyways, in their delta, right? So this delta what they've been doing is they've been taking the sand because it's the right type of sand for construction. Then, as the water flows through over the rocks and everything, it replenishes the sand because it's eroding rocks.
Right.
In 2011 alone, they extracted 50 million tons of sand from the delta. And now they're moving more sand out of the delta than nature is able to replenish naturally. Wow. They believe that nearly half the delta will be wiped out by the end of this century if this continues.
Oh. And is that mainly going for concrete purpose, or is it just in general?
In general, okay. Yeah. But a lot of them might be doing it,
So that's where recycling could be very beneficial.
Especially for glass materials.
Yeah.
Glass materials or anything else made out of sand. Electronics.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you're telling me recycling is important?
Yeah. So, there's different types of sand that's used for construction, which is different type of sand which is used for making glass, different type of sand which is used for making electronics. Because you need high purity silica sand to make glass and electronics. All those solar panels that people want to put up everywhere? Guess what you need for that? Sand. So as we kind of shift our economy more, and so that, various political parties want to go like, oh, more solar, more wind,
takes
more
sand.
It's going to take more sand. We're going to have to do that.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yep. So because of that, like people are now trying to be like, can we make cement? They're looking for new ways to make cement.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to be patient on this, but so shredded plastic, crushed oil palm shells, rice husks. They're looking at ways to grind down and recycle concrete better.
Right.
To be able to get some
reuse out of it.
Yeah. A material that people love to go is just sit there and walk on at a beach. Your beach may be dredged up and sold to the highest bidder because
we need sand.
Yeah. And you remember this. There's a big difference in the sand along our side of the lake over here in Wisconsin than over in Michigan. In Michigan, it's so much smoother and nicer. Over here in Wisconsin, it's rough and rocky.
Rugged. Yeah.
So, can you imagine? Well, thankfully, Wisconsin side, we'll probably be safe then because they'll want all the.
Well, wouldn't they want the more rugged stuff?
Not necessarily, if it's not the right
Because
shape.
if desert sand is too small and smooth.
Yeah, but it's ocean, river, coastal sand.
But
you could also
Michigan's is too just smooth and nice compared to.
It could also be too rocky on our side.
Could be, yeah. It just needs a nice middleman.
That or what they'll do is they'll take all of the sand along our coast and replace it with Sahara Desert sand.
That could be a good thing, right?
Sure.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never walked in the Sahara Desert, so I don't know what that sounds like.
So we have a sand shortage. So, right now, like it's the fall season. So Tuesday, Apple's going to release their new phone, or at least announce their new phone. It's not necessarily
And waste all of this sand.
Which means people are going to have to wait probably for the phone for a while because what do we have right now? A chip shortage.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking chip like Doritos.
No, yeah.
Cool Ranch. I'm talking
piece.
chip like computer chip shortage.
Computer chip stuff.
So electronics, computers, all shortage. All you got to wait for a little while. Things. Thankfully, I got all my computer stuff right before the shortage. There's a shortage on furniture. My mom went to look up furniture for her living room.
Uh-huh.
It'll be 6 to 8 months before it could be delivered.
Wow.
And that's probably going to be the new trend going forward.
I was just waiting forever for stuff. Man.
Because there's going to be a shortage on supplies somewhere.
What about because I know we had the prices go up on wood.
That has stabilized some.
Yeah. Now, gosh, I mean, I guess you can make your own furniture. If you have that skill, though.
I'll say, go ahead and, I don't have that woodworking skill, nor do I have the tools for it. Now, I know how to do some basic woodworking stuff, but I don't have the tools for it.
Just make a simple wooden chair.
So, you would have to, again, that's moving that shift again. And that might be a good shift where we move away from big corporations making all the furniture back to the more local
stuff,
craft artisan person making all the furniture.
That would be really cool.
And that's what might be some of the results of this going. Instead of you going to Amazon and getting, whatever,
right?
You go to the local specialist who knows how to make this stuff and get it.
Yeah. Oh,
now, on the same side, guess what? Guess what's probably going to happen as well?
What?
As I'm watching you pour your Jack Daniels, stuff like that might start becoming more
expensive.
Maybe expensive and maybe rare, and it goes the way of national distilleries become local distilleries again.
I should have saved the rest of this bottle. Okay, I can always go buy another one real quick and save it
until it's out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I know the store. Well, last time I was there, they still had a few, so maybe they still have some. I'll go buy another one. But yeah, I didn't think about that. Another thing, I love when it comes to breweries and stuff like that. I love going to little local breweries and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you can always rely on old standards like Jack Daniels.
But that's a distillery, not a brewery.
Well, yes, I get that. You could, maybe it'd be good because then we could get rid of Bud Light and Budweiser and all that. And Coors Light,
PBR. But dude, PBR's coffee one is so good.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
But I mean, no, yeah, that's.
But we do, so shortages, right?
Yeah.
There's other shortages going on. There's some stores like grocery stores and all that.
Yeah.
They'll do orders and they're like, they're only getting 40 to 50% of what they ordered in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what was that? We were just talking at work for it was funny when we started talking about this. I started thinking about the podcast where we started talking about Gatorade, and then I started thinking about Toy Story.
Of course.
No, but like, yeah, one of the guys at work, he's like, yeah, he's like, when I go to a grocery store, he's like, and if I see like Gatorade there, he's like, I'll try and get some of it because I mean, he's like, the shelves always seem empty of it now.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I was like, I'm gonna have to start paying attention to that because it's like I've always thought there was the shelves weren't stocked, that's for sure, but it wasn't like it was like bare. But
No, so a lot like I go to the Quick Trip by my place quite often
yeah,
because A, then I don't have to cook. B, they have a wonderful thing there right now and it's limited time only. So
what is it?
it's a cream cheese stuffed pretzel. It is delicious. They've had it for about the past 4 weeks and it's a limited time item. Wonderful thing. Best thing ever. If you like cream cheese and you like pretzels. But anyways, I go there, right? And the last like couple weeks I've noticed there's a few things that are almost out of stock almost all the time. Like their drink shelves, you've been to Quick Trip. You're used to their drink shelves just being stocked full,
big
right?
Time, yeah. Nope, not so much.
Their Powerade section,
gone.
pretty empty. It's actually kind of getting harder and harder for me to find like Powerade there because I normally get one or two a week to drink. Like I'm drinking one right now.
Right.
Certain flavors of certain sodas, just completely out of stock. Can't get them.
Gone. Yep.
The Speedway by my house, they haven't had zero sugar cherry Coke for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They haven't been able to get in stock. Oh my gosh. So you go to their Coke section, it's just like bare.
Oh my gosh.
And the thing is, that's going to become more and more common, unfortunately, for us.
And then, but okay, so I guess with that, I could see that being a good thing to a point. Because I guess, these are zero sugar, so they're not like bad for you.
And that's debatable.
But they're not probably great for you.
The artificial sweetener can cause issues.
Yes. So I was like, what if that just drove more just people drinking just water? That would be good.
It would be good.
But
here's the thing. That right now it's on the drinks, right?
yes.
There's a shortage of chicken going on as well.
Yeah, my chicken wings.
Yep, chicken wings.
I love chicken wings.
Well, not even chicken wings.
Just chicken.
Chicken in general. In Great Britain, UK,
Yeah.
there's a restaurant chain that had shut down 50 locations because they couldn't get chicken.
Oh my gosh.
You have worker shortages going on left and right. You have restaurants that are closing because they don't have workers.
Yeah.
A couple of us tried to go out to dinner on this past Wednesday at a place, and their kitchen was closed because they didn't have enough staff.
It's Applebee's.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, a small place downtown.
Oh, okay.
And that's happened to us trying to go to B-Dubs before. Even we would walk up to B-Dubs and there's a sign on the door that says, "Due to shortage of staff, we're closing early tonight." And obviously they were closing right as we were getting there. So,
Oh my! Wow. Because what was I had heard about a T-Bell on the north side, closing because they just didn't have workers.
yep,
The Nash were temporarily closed because of lack of workers.
yeah,
There was one night when I was going to Taco Bell, and I had made a mobile order on my way there,
yep,
and so I'm sitting in line, and this worker comes out, and he starts telling people to leave or whatever. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "Yeah, unless it's a DoorDash or a mobile order," he's like, "We're short on supplies, so we're just closing early tonight." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Well, luckily for me, I have a mobile order," but so I still was able to sit and get my burrito. But
So I went to last weekend. I was helping my mother with something, and for dinner I went to McDonald's on Douglas.
okay,
I pull up. You know how they have two big screens for their menu?
yeah,
They have a decent semi-variety of stuff, right?
right.
They have like the McChickens and all that. Not right
I'm
now.
never getting one of those again.
They don't have all that right now.
Oh, I had one like a week ago.
So in Douglas, they were down to one screen of the two.
Yeah.
All they had was their burger items, the McFish, because for whatever reason they had McFish still, and their, I guess you could say their deluxe chicken items. They didn't have like the McChicken. They didn't even have that.
Really?
So
When was that?
that was last weekend. So when I went there, though, they had
it was
such a
closed
shortage
off.
that they had half their menu gone.
Oh my gosh.
And, and that's happened to more and more restaurants I've gone to where it's like they'll have a sign that says, due to a shortage of supplies, we have a limited menu.
Right. See, this is like with this whole thing. Because you talked about like earlier, maybe with some of these big corporations, when we're talking about furniture, maybe we'd have to like rely on more of the local shops or whatever.
Yep.
But as far as stuff like with that comes to food, wouldn't we have to rely on the bigger guys more?
No,
Because they would.
we'd have to rely on more local farms.
Do I do like farmers markets?
So you go to farmers markets to buy your vegetables. You go to like a beef farm, where they grow cows and butcher them and that, and you could buy stocks in a cow.
Yeah.
So you buy part of the cow.
Yep.
So you get so much meat.
That's we a friend of ours that has cows. We'll pick one out of one of theirs, and then when it comes time, we get meat.
Yeah. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
People will have to. People will have to stop being such babies and realize that hunting is okay.
Yeah. Right.
I
We're
did
gonna have
not
to return to some of those
I
old.
had to refrain from how I really wanted to say that. But realize that that's not gonna be a thing. Like something like that happens, you may need to do something like, hey, go deer hunting, go
Yeah.
maybe eat some of those less desirable meats. I don't know what those may be.
Like, I was gonna say, like, what though?
Maybe an animal that isn't typically hunted for meat.
Right.
know.
Chipmunk.
Don't know. But we're gonna have to get out of this mindset of filet mignon or nothing.
But that's my thing, though.
And instead of it becoming like this crazy thing that or having steak all the time, it's a
Maybe I have a hamburger patty.
it's on a special occasion that you get to have meat,
Right.
a steak like that or something like that. Maybe that'll be healthier for us too. I don't know.
Well, that's why I wonder. Like, depending on for some of this, maybe it does benefit us in ways as far as our health stuff goes. But I guess I don't know for you. Like, I don't know. Do you find yourself? I guess do you order a lot of stuff, or is there a lot of stuff that you've been put on weight for to get, or
All the stuff I've ordered that I've needed, I got kind of before the pandemic really took off. Okay. And there were a couple things I ordered like near the start of the pandemic, and there was a little bit of a wait time. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. But anything major that I've needed, I think the longest I had to wait on something was my dog's high-tech collar. And that took a couple weeks. But other than that, it was relatively quick. The only thing I had to wait on for a while was a new pen for my tablet. But the only reason I had to wait for that is because it went from Australia to Germany to the Netherlands to Ohio to New York and then to delivered to me.
What? Okay.
So that's the only reason. So it wasn't like it was a shortage. They shipped it out the next day after I ordered it.
Yeah, it just had a weird route to go.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Because to be honest, most of the stuff that I order is not stuff that can be, I guess you could say, it's not anything that could ever really have a shortage on. Because most of the stuff I order is software based. So if it's software, you just make a copy of it and, you're good to go. Yeah. It's not like, I only have 30,000 copies of this software ever that I can make. It's...
Yeah.
I got it. So that's where most of the stuff I order goes into, like testing Windows 11, testing the new firmware on the Rodecaster, testing new firmware on my various devices, and that's where most of that money go, or that's most of the stuff I get.
Yeah.
So it's not anything that I could ever tangibly get. Most of the stuff that I tangibly get is for me going to the grocery store, getting food and that. I think I do way more ordering for my mother than anyone else.
Yeah.
And even then, like that stuff, like they probably mass produced it a year ago. And so
they
it's,
have some.
yeah.
have some
So like
stuff left.
a polearm chainsaw chain,
Oh, okay.
relatively, they have a bunch of them in stock. They're already been made. It's not custom in any way. It's,
No. Yeah.
but what was it? This past year, there were a bunch of people, like a bunch of trucks. There was a photo of this. I don't know if you saw it or not. A bunch of trucks sitting in a lot at a manufacturing plant, and they were all waiting on chips from overseas. The trucks were built. The trucks were ready to go, except they were missing some chips. They're missing some critical chips that necessary
For the truck to
work.
The truck to work. Okay.
And because of chip shortages, guess what?
No working truck.
Yep. Now, thankfully, I'm not in the looking for a new vehicle right now, so I'm like, okay, I'm good. And honestly, like before pandemic entered, like month 18, I was like, kind of like maybe going to SUV or truck. But now at this point, I'm waiting to see how things kind of
Right.
play out, because I'm not sure how things are going to go. And
Watch now, my truck's gonna get stolen.
well, I'm not even concerned about that. I'm concerned about how our gas price is going to be long term.
I know.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
How are cost of goods going to be long term? There was an article I was reading where there was a trucker saying basically his income increased by $10 per hour overnight due to the shortages of truckers.
Dang.
Here's the thing: people are like, "Oh, great, you're paying the truckers more," and that's fine. I'm not saying pay the truckers nothing. I'm just, so don't think that. Trust me. At times I was like, I'm in the wrong industry.
Yeah.
I was like, why did I not just become a trucker?
Yeah.
But no, that's not for me. But doing all that, right? And I'm just like, you people realize that cost of increased shipping is going to be passed on to somewhere. The companies are not going to absorb that increased cost for shipping. They're going to pass that on to the consumers. All that stuff that's shipped at an increased cost is going to mean cost of goods of everyday living are going to cost more.
Yeah.
Electronic makers, starting like next month, one of the main chip manufacturers is increasing the prices of their chips dramatically. Companies are not going to absorb that cost. They're going to pass that cost on to whoever buys their products.
Yeah.
All your electronics are going to go up.
Yep. Oh man.
Combine that with inflation going on.
That's a nasty recipe.
It's
a recipe for disaster.
It's where, hey, that loaf of bread, that looks good. $1,000, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah. Huh. Oh my gosh.
And I'm not making stuff up like that. Look at what has happened to Venezuela.
I don't know what has happened to Venezuela.
Okay, so in Venezuela, in the past, obviously not always bad, not always good today, right? But what happened was they had rapid inflation.
Okay.
And to the point where it became, how do you say it? Basic things became real expensive. Cost of food, and this is from tradingeconomics.com. Cost of food in Venezuela increased 2,190% in May 2021 over the same month in the previous year.
2,000.
Food inflation in Venezuela averaged 15,031.27% from 2009 till 2021. So I'm looking at May right now, right? This year, right?
Yeah.
Food inflation is 2719.5. And to be fair, that actually went down from the month before it, which was 2940.
Oh.
So their
okay,
inflation
so
went
it's
down
a
went
tad
down
bit.
a little bit recently. But still,
It's relatively high.
that's a good inflation rate for food, and you don't want to see that come in here. That's why you will hear politicians sometimes say, "You don't want to have to pay this amount of money for,
Such and such, and
yeah." And that's why they're afraid of, the of inflation coming up here. Now, obviously, if you look at it like in whatever, I guess like U.S. dollars, right? You look at it in U.S. dollars and it's like, oh, this is cheap, right? But the average salary in Venezuela is not as high as what even you make.
here. Oh my gosh.
Us here, we could go down there real easily and just buy the food that we want. Like,
No problem.
so in American dollars, right?
Yeah.
A loaf of bread costs 48 cents
Huh?
in American money. Okay?
I'm moving to Venezuela.
In Venezuelan money, just making sure I got this right, the average salary in Venezuela, average monthly salary. So, what person takes home monthly?
Yeah.
132,000 VES.
Ooh, monthly?
Yep.
100. Oh, VE. Okay, VES. But that's, yeah.
That's whatever
Their currency is.
their currency is, right? That's 132,000 VES or 1,590,000 VES yearly.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds like a lot because it's just big numbers, but.
Inflation.
Yeah.
In VES.
To you.
Cost of French white bread.
French?
Oh, of white bread. They just call it French white bread.
Oh.
You want to guess how many VES is? Of Venezuelan dollars, essentially. It costs for a loaf of bread, which is equivalent to 48 cents US.
What, $7? I don't know.
7 Venezuelan dollars?
Yeah. More? 30?
No. Go higher.
100?
Oh, so close. Nope. So far away.
500?
Oh, keep going.
1,000.
Oh,
2,000.
not even close. Oh,
10,000.
no, I can't even say you're getting warm yet.
Hold up. They make, okay, so they make 100,000 a month.
100, like 30,000 a month.
So 75,000?
Nope.
More?
Yes.
For a loaf
Of bread.
of bread.
Yes.
Is it their monthly salary?
More than their yearly salary.
A loaf of bread is more than how?
I don't know how. This is according to a website which tracks costs of food across the world, right?
How can a loaf of bread cost more than they make a year?
And this is the point of showing how crazy expensive it's gotten with their inflation. A loaf of bread in Venezuelan dollars, 1,969,616.82 VES. For a loaf of
That's
bread,
48 cents for us.
that's equivalent to 48 US cents. That is for a loaf of bread that weighs 125 grams.
There's no way. No way. What? So we'd be filthy rich if we went to Venezuela.
Yeah.
But then that means I'd have to get a job in Venezuela. Which means I ain't getting paid much.
Yeah, but you with your bank account, you could live like a king there
Yeah.
until you're held ransom. But yeah, but the food prices though, that's the recommended price for food in that country. That's just because of that inflation that's just gone crazy high.
Okay. Man, that's outrageous.
So that was the country at whole, right? I'm going to narrow it down to one city in particular.
Yeah.
They don't have the cost for bread in this city.
Okay.
Now, what this is real people who have reported this data. You want to guess how much a tenth of a kilogram of rice costs in their local currency?
70,000.
Up.
200,000.
Up.
700,000.
Thankfully down.
Okay. 500,000.
Down. 371,483 vests for a tenth of a kilogram. Do you want to guess what that is in US dollars?
Well.
9 cents.
I was going to say, it had to be under half of what the first one was. 9 cents. For a tenth of a kilogram?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think, for America, compared to these other countries now,
Mm-hmm. We have it pretty good.
we have it really good.
Yeah. We have
I
traditionally
mean, we
had
always
it-
have. We've always had it really good here. And it's like, I don't know. It's like we'll always be one of those places where it's always like, it's a first world problem thing.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And that's why a lot of people are concerned about the inflation and all that.
Right. Because, I mean, it's like, how bad are these other countries then getting hit by shortages? More so than we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now that being said, so that's the the cost of the food, right? Government,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, they hand some out. They subsidize a good chunk of food as well, so they can bring it down in a government supermarket. Can you imagine that, a government supermarket?
Sounds awful.
Well, ask all the military people. They have
They probably love it.
Well, no, military people have commissaries. So, like when my dad was in the military and all that, and we lived near base, we would go to the military grocery store. My mom still sometimes goes down to the grocery store down in Illinois.
Oh.
So, in a way, we kind of do, right?
Yeah, I suppose so then.
Yeah. So they're able to bring the price down in private, or not, excuse me, not in private, in government.
Yeah.
Actually, quite a bit. So milk, 20 or 70.
70 cents?
70 of their whatever their currency.
Oh, okay.
$70 of their currency, right? Flour 190.
Okay.
Pasta 15. So for like the flour, right?
Yeah.
That's for a 2.2 pound bag for 190 of their thing.
Okay.
The milk, it's 70, right? If they can find it.
And here we go.
And they've so if you can find it, it's 70, right? But if you can't find it, then you might have to go to the black market or the normal markets, where that could be $700 in American currency. Equivalent of $700 in American.
For them, it'd be
Yeah.
like us spending $700.
If you could took the amount of money they would have to spend to buy that milk, 7,000,
Yeah.
and convert it to US, that'd be like 700. That's when this article was written a couple of years ago, so the inflation's gotten worse since then.
I would never. Yeah, I would never spend $700 for milk.
Yeah, so like this person, if I buy or I can find the rice, right? My whole salary for the month is blown on 3 kilos of rice. All I can find in the store is soap, and I can't eat soap. And in their government stores, like you're given a number.
Yeah.
When your number is called, then you can go up and shop.
Yeah.
Well, if there's nothing left by the time your number's called, too bad.
Screwed.
Yeah, and so people are talking about like their number's called, they go up, and there's nothing left.
Oh my God. That's so sad.
Yeah. So an American would not live at all in there.
No. Oh no. The chaos has been bad enough. Which,
Can you imagine though all the Karens down there?
oh, see, what? Who? Oh no, maybe it was my mom. I was talking about this with, but like, maybe it was you too. I don't know, but it's like, for those that I guess just one either hate America or think it's so bad here and so oppressive to live here, I really wish they would just go out somewhere else.
Well, here's the problem. If they went to visit Venezuela, right?
Yeah.
Their money would go so far.
For them, it would. Yeah.
Yeah. And they wouldn't understand it still. They'd still think
Oh,
everything's fine.
we've got it so good.
Yeah.
Down here in Venezuela, you don't even know we're freaking rich.
It's the same
Until
people
you
who
make
it's
their
the same people
wages.
who are like, oh, go to Cuba, and like Michael Moore when he did his little documentary about how Cuba and healthcare is so much better than American healthcare and all that.
Yeah.
So but I actually find this a little astonishing. Apples in Venezuela is more expensive than beef rounds, chicken fillets.
Wait, hold up. What?
Apples
Here. Oh, no. Oh,
in
just
Venezuela
are more
expensive.
than...
Beef round or chicken fillets.
apples.
According to this from the city of Merida, apples cost for 0.3 kilograms 8,667,940 vests. Beef round 0.15 kilograms, so half the weight of the apples, costs 1,857,415. That's over double the price for double the weight.
Oh, man.
So we and I hate to say it, that's so for the apples, right? That's like $2.10 American versus 45 cents for a beef round. So yeah, we have it good. We might have to wait a little bit of time,
For what we want.
but we have it good.
We have it so good.
Now here's the thing. Inflation keeps going up like this. Obviously, we probably won't get to Venezuela bad, but there are scenarios where it could get that bad. If the only reason it hasn't gone as crazy as it has, like in Venezuela and other countries like that, is the dollar is used as one of the main trading currencies all around the world. However, if a cryptocurrency becomes the main hard currency or anything else, our inflation rates will go unchecked. Now, right now, they keep saying, "Oh, it's just transient. It's just going to be around for a little bit." That's what they're predicting. That's not guaranteed.
For the crypto stuff?
No, the inflation.
Oh, inflation.
They're saying it's transient. It will be around for a little bit, but then it's going to go back. Blah blah blah. That's what I'm hearing at work and everything. That's not always the case. Yes, it may happen like that, but it may not even. There's ways where it could be like, no, that's not going to happen. But we'll have to see, So I just put my monthly annual salary or my monthly salary in that I take home after tax in,
Yeah.
converted it to Venezuelan dollars, Venezuelan bolivar. Would I take home monthly? I'm going to see how many years it would take them. 15,565 years.
For them to make what you make in a month.
After taxes. That's how devalued their currency has become, unfortunately. When I go to an exchange rate calculator, you know how like if you do like, your US dollars to euro or something like that, right? It's always like 1 to whatever. When I go to theirs, it's 1 to 0. It's 4,124,788 vests to $1 US.
It's what? It's 4 million. What?
124,788 vests to $1 US. And how much do they make a year?
1 million.
590,000.
Wait, that's.
They make 1,590,000
Oh.
vests
Okay.
a year. That's less than $1.
So if we donated money to Venezuela, they could.
It's going to go to the government.
No! I want it to go to the people.
Yeah, good luck.
How?
That's what they make in a year is equivalent to 38.5 cents US. If they direct conversion to US dollars.
How much? Wait, what?
38.5 cents. So, yeah, whenever companies say like, hey, inflation, that's why they keep pointing to Venezuela for that.